Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nako, alam nyo ba that any given time, merong 2 million applications na pinaprocess ang IRCC. Grabe, no? Napakarami. At right now, based dito sa current data or latest data ng IRCC, 2.4 million ang kasalukuyan nilang pinoproseso. At alam nyo ba, mahigit 1 million dyan ay considered as a backlog category. So it's taking longer than the standard, kumbaga, period for them to process. Nako, at yan ang pinoproblema ng marami nating kababayan. Parang ilang buwan na sila waiting sa magiging resulta ng kung ano mang ina-applyan po nilang permit or extension to stay, etc. So many are just basically worried about the uncertainties of it all. Yan ang ating pag-uusapan kasama ang ating suking si Dayanara in Puerto Bantigue. Hello, welcome back.
Hi po. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Ayan, okay. O sige, we'll get right to it, Dayanara. Oh, by the way, okay, her contact information will be down at the description box. Stop asking me in the comment section.
Thank
Okay?
you po.
Ayan. Una sa lahat, ikaw, do you have a lot of clients na matagal nang dati implied status kung tawagin, ngayon pala it's now maintained status.
Yes po.
No?
Yes po. Yes po. Yes, madami po sila ngayon, especially yung mga international students na nagta-transition to post-graduation work permit. So, marami sa kanila naka-maintain status sila, including yung mga asawa po nila at yung mga anak. Meron din naman po na mga dating naka-PGWP na nag-change ng status to closed work permit kasi nakahanap sila ng LMIA. Meron din pong gano'n. Tapos meron din po namang naka-LMIA closed work permit to another LMIA closed work permit. Yan po yung mga examples ng mga naka-maintain status sila.
How about mga waiting for PR ganyan? Meron bang maintain status? Matagal ba yun?
That's the thing. I may be wrong, but I don't believe so. What will usually happen po, Ms. Ina, kapag meron kang ongoing PR application is you will have the ability, depende sa stage na ng PR application mo, you may have the ability to apply for either a bridging open work permit, which will allow you to wait, parang to work while waiting for the result of your PR application, or meron din naman pong iba na parang specific dun sa, kunyari po ang Ontario, kapag nakatanggap na po kayo ng nomination galing sa OINP, meron po silang ibibigay na parang document para makapag-apply ka ng closed work permit na tied pa rin doon sa employer po na tumulong sa inyo para makapag-apply ng PR. Hindi siya katulad ng BOWP or Bridging Open Work Permit, which would allow you to work for any company. Yung ibang mga type of work permit na nakukuha ng mga nag-apply ng PR ay nakatali pa rin doon sa employer po nila.
Okay. Guys, just to clarify, hindi kasama sa maintained status, kunyari may profile kayong sa mga express entry hoping to be drawn. That's not considered to
Usually hindi po. Usually hindi. Kasi the reason why it's called maintain is you are maintaining a previous status.
Yan.
For example, holder ka ng closed work permit kasi meron kang LMIA, 2 years ka na. Tapos, mapapasa na yon. So, nakahanap ka na ng bagong employer na mag-a-apply naman, napapayagan na, kumbaga, bibigyan ka ng LMIA para makapag-apply ka ulit ng isa pang closed work permit. So, kumbaga, i-maintain, pagka nag-apply ka ng bago mong work permit, habang valid pa yung luma mong work permit. Okay? Ma-maintain mo yung status mo habang hinihintay mo yung bagong resulta, yung bagong mong work permit, mag-maintain siya. So, kaya po siya tinatawag na maintained status. So, yung iba kasi ang sinasabi, pwede ba akong ma-maintain kung magkaiba? For example, visitor visa ako dati, tapos bigla akong nag-apply ng study permit. Ibig sabihin ba, ma-maintain yung status ko, pwede na akong mag-aral nang wala pang result yung study permit ko? That's not correct. Kasi there's no status to maintain to begin with. Dahil visitor visa yung hawak mo nung una, tapos magsa-study permit ka, walang status ng study permit. Okay. There must be a status na i-maintain for you to be put in that situation.
Buti sana kung ini-extend mo ay student
permit.
Yun baka pwede.
Kunyari, naka 1-year program ka lang, tapos mag-extend ka to get another 1-year program para meron kang mas matagal na post-graduation work permit, yon, that can be an example of maintained status.
Okay, ayun na nga eh. But sige, before I ask you, yung kung merong limitations
Yes.
ang pagiging nasa maintained status.
Okay.
Ano ba ang dahilan, Dayanara? Bakit ang balita, yung mga sinasabi, no, people waiting for several months.
Yes.
Ano ba, minsan years
Yes.
before they get, a result. Hindi pa yun always positive, 'di ba? Or
Yes.
approval.
I would say several months. Opo, several months is much more realistic.
Okay,
I've never
several
had client naman po na umabot ng taon. Thank God. But, I mean, hindi imposible sa tindi ng backlog ng IRCC. As you mentioned, it's over 1 million in backlog that has exceeded, service standards.
Yan.
So, as you can see, medyo mataas siya. Parang yung citizenship lang yung medyo mabilis. Actually,
Ito yung backlog, guys, ha. Ito yung total, 1,349.9 million. Ang naka-backlog, more than 1 million.
More than 1 million. So, ito yung mga nag-exceed na po sa, for example, ang processing time usually is 9 weeks. Tapos nag-exceed na sila, sumobra na sila than the processing time. Meron po talaga mga ganyan. Hindi naman din natin maiiwasan dahil hindi naman lahat ng application ay pare-pareho. Minsan merong mga client na kulang yung application na pinasa nila.
Yeah.
Minsan merong mga client na mali yung application, yung document na so hindi rin naman laging fault ng IRCC, pero this is the reality now that we have. Talagang malaki yung backlog na meron tayo.
Yeah. But with the reports, I think it's safe to assume that it's really gotten worse.
Yes.
Over recent, at least over the past year. Is
Yes.
it because, do you think, Dayanara, dahil na rin siguro yung mga tao parang in a state of, panic, fear about their future here? O sige, mag-file na ako ng ganito, ganyan. Baka bago ako mawalan ng status,
Yes.
magme-maintain status na lang ako.
Yes, actually, it's being used now. There are immigration consultants and agencies or agents, sadly, na nagsasuggest sa yung mga malapit na pong mapaso yung status nila na, hindi, basta mag-apply ka lang ng work permit, kahit anong work permit, malagay ka lang sa maintained status, makapagtrabaho ka sa Canada, habang hinihintay mo yung result ng fake na work permit application na sinubmit mo. So, it's really sad that people are suggesting this. Kasi, maaring ma-at risk yung tao na nag-a-apply ng misrepresentation kasi sasabihin ng IRCC, ano yung basihan ng work permit na ina-apply mo? Bakit? Parang, it cannot be na nag-apply ka lang ng work permit para malagay ka under maintained status, taking advantage of the backlog that we have.
Ano ba yan? Ibig mo sabihin na yan, inaabuso na rin pati itong maintained status na kakainis naman.
Yes, naabuso na siya na, honestly, IRCC can decide one day na, okay, wala nang maintained status, maghintay ka na lang muna ng work permit mo bago ka makapagtrabaho.
Oo nga.
So that can happen. I mean, because it's in the law, but that can happen. They can change that na kung mapapag-aalaman nila na maraming naabuso. Kasi dumadagdag din po tayo yung mga nag-a-apply po ng fake work permit applications, bogus work permit applications, dumadagdag tayo dito sa backlog na to na meron.
Kaya nga, ito na naman Ito na naman yung mga situations where, yung mga kalokohan ng ilan, ang dami na namang posible.
Lahat maapektuhan. Yes po, lahat maapektuhan. So, wala tayong magagawa dyan. Kasi pagka sinabi nila yun, kaya ibig sabihin pala, pagka pagka-graduate ako ng international student, hindi na ako pwedeng makapagtrabaho full-time, oras na masubmit ko yung PGWP ko, hihintayin ko yung PGWP ko na dumating. What if it takes 9 months?
Yeah, oo nga.
It takes a while.
Okay.
So,
ay, nako. O sige, nako po. Huwag kayong gagawa ng ganun, guys, ha? Na para lang maka-extend, mag-a-apply kayo ng kung anumang application para lang ma-maintain status. It's just gonna be a problem for you. O what if biglang hindi nyo alam, bigla kayo mauna for some reason. At
ito pa yung sa mas inang case na hindi alam ng marami. Pag nag-apply ka for example, isa kang international student na nag-apply ka ng study permit extension mo kasi for some reason, hindi sapat yung permit mo para matapos mo yung program mo. So, nag-apply ka ng extension. Okay. So, naka-maintain status ka ngayon. Ibig sabihin, pwede kang mag-aral at mag-work habang hinihintay mo yung results ng study permit application mo. Sa sobrang tagal ng backlog, inabot ka ng time na graduation mo na. Graduation mo na, wala ka pa ding results dun sa study permit extension na in-apply mo. Ibig sabihin, expired na din yung luma mong permit. Kumbaga, naka-maintain ka na lang, expired na siya. Tapos ngayon, inabot ka ng graduation mo, kailangan mo na ngayon mag-apply ng PGWP. Pag gano'n ang nangyari, Ms. Ina, na umabot na nagpang-abot yung extension at yung PGWP application, meron kang dalawang application ngayon na magkasabay, magkapatong. Parang ganyan. Pagka ganun po, Ms. Ina, kailangan huminto ng work ng estudyante na yon. Hindi siya mapupunta sa maintain status na pwede siyang mag-work full-time. Kasi po usually, kapag valid pa yung study permit mo, saka ka nag-apply ng PGWP, mapupunta ka sa maintain status. Makakapag-trabaho ka full-time. Pero pag nagpang-abot yung study permit extension mo at yung PGWP application mo, hindi ka pwede magtrabaho. Kailangan hintayin mong dumating yung resulta ng PGWP mo muna. You cannot have two maintain statuses at the same time.
Bago po natin ipagpatuloy yung episode na yan, ako, just a short commercial. This channel, ito pong in a nutshell, is open for collaboration, guys. If you're interested in creating content with me, please contact Talentado Creative Agency o yung Talentado CA. Nako, sila po ang mag-handle ng mga collaborations for in a nutshell. And for content creators looking for someone to help boost your channels, whether here on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, nako, i-consider nyo po ang Talentado Agency. Matutulungan po kayo, ito ng anak ko, matutulungan po kayo in networking. Ako personally, nako, ang dami ko na agad natutulan sa kapwa Talentado talents na nakausap ko na. No? Ang dami mga tips on how to improve and boost my channel. So yeah, ito po ang contact information ng Talentado CA, and I will also put it down in the description box if you're interested. Okay, back to episode. Ano ba yun? It's so complicated pala. So it's really dependent on the type of status or
and what your current status. Yes, kasi yung iba po na ina-advise sila na ba't ka po mag-a-apply ng extension agad? Hindi ka pa naman expired. Parang di pa naman expired yung permit mo, ba't ka mag-a-apply agad ng extension? Ang advice ko ngayon sa clients ko is kung gusto ninyong mag-extend, for example, mag-aaral kayo ulit, nakuha nyo na yung acceptance nyo dun sa bago nyong eskwelahan na a-applyan, apply nyo na kagad yung extension. Kasi pwede siyang mag-take ng 7 to 8 months. Bago mo makuha yung extension, pwede niyang abutan yung graduation mo, and by that time, hihinto ka ng mag-work. So, sana kung ganun kadali, nahihinto ka sa work, Miss Ina, di ba? Siyempre, pag nasa Canada ka, tuloy-tuloy ang gastos, ang rent, ang ganyan. So, mahirap. Oh my gosh, ano ba yan? It's so complicated pala. Yeah, so, parang hindi laging magic yung maintain status na parang, iwa po kasi mga Pilipino na nakikilala ko is nagtatrabaho sila na hindi pala sila dapat nagtatrabaho. So, yung mahirap din po yun. So, always ask, always confirm, kung pwede po pala kayong magtrabaho or hindi. Okay. Ito marami akong nakikita mga queries about what you can do while you are on maintain status. Things like, naka-maintain status ako, pwede ko ba ma-renew ang OHIP ko? Pwede ba akong sumakto na during my maintain status, naka 18 months na akong international student, baka qualified ako for childcare benefit? Are these things pwedeng ko i-proceed or ipa-process as usual? Paano ba yun? With health cards, it will usually depend on the province, yung rule nila. So the best, for example, in Ontario, the best way to do this is to proceed to a Service Ontario office, bring the letter stating, kasi po pagka na-maintain status ka, usually there's a letter sent to you, allowing, parang detalyado yon for work permit holders. For study permit naman, usually pwede mo pong dalhin yung submission confirmation. So bring that to Service Ontario and ask them, or kung saan man po kayong province nakatira, to ask kung pwede bang magpa-extend ng iyong health card to avail of other services habang naghihintay. Pero usually with maintained status, you're treated as if you are a work permit holder. Usually ganun yun. There's not much of a difference usually, except the fact na hindi ka pwedeng usually hindi ka pwedeng umalis ng Canada. What happens kasi, Ms. Ina, is the maintained status, your ability to work or to study is only available to you habang nasa Canada po kayo. If naka-maintain status po kayo at lumabas kayo ng Canada at babalik kayo ng Canada after a few weeks or a few days, at wala pang resulta yung application mo, then hindi ka pwedeng mag-work. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-aaral. Ganun siya. So, usually, I don't advise people to leave Canada habang naka-maintain status po.
Oo. Okay. Hay, nako. Meron ka pa ba? Baka may naisip kang iba pang limitations while on implied status? Maybe.
Well, pagdating sa PR, meron po kasi mga PR pathways, Mas Ina, na meron silang points na ina-allot for those who are actually holding permits, actually holding work permits, actually holding study permits. Yung iba po kasi, kaya nila ginagawa yung fake work permit application is para daw may time sila na maghintay ng invitation for PR.
Okay.
Yun yung ginagawa ng iba, which is sakit sa ulo ng mga HR managers. Sakit sa ulo nila yan dahil parang binibigyan nila ng dokumento para makapag-apply ng PR, tapos all of a sudden mare-refuse kasi nga fake yung work permit application, and then all of a sudden wala silang empleyado.
Oo, ano ba yan?
Hindi ka makakapag-apply ng PR. Yan yung mga complications kapag nag-submit ka ng hindi naman totoong application. Yan yung mga maaaring maging problema. So, hanggat maaari po, dun lang tayo sa legal. Dun lang tayo sa forward. Huwag na nating gayahin yung ginagawa ng iba. Kasi yung iba, syempre po tayo mga Pilipino, pag nag-uusap-usap sa mga party, ito ginawa namin, hindi dahil nagawa mo at naging successful ka, ay pwede mong isuggest yan sa iba dahil maaaring hindi maging ganon yung resulta nung kanila. At pagka ganon, konsensya mo na ikaw ang nag-suggest.
Correct. Hay, nako. At saka sa panahon ngayon, guys, huwag na nating dagdagan pa ang inis na mga Canadians. Sa totoo lang. Sa mga taong, trying to go around the system, again, find loopholes, yung mga ganyang bagay pa. Let's not do that anymore. Ano ba yan?
Because it's not fair, di ba? It's not fair. You want to be PRs in the future and you want to be Canadian citizens in the future, you have to care for this country that, you now call home.
Correct. I mean, why would you start like that, right? Why would you start your life in Canada?
Parang hindi naman din po fair ito na ganito yung ating mga ginagawa. Pero hopefully, ma-clear nila yung backlog, makapag-hire sila usually naman ng IRCC, regularly hiring, case processing officers. Remote na sila ngayon, so a lot of them can be hired kahit nasa ibang lugar sila sa Canada. So hopefully, mas marami silang i-hire to get through this backlog.
Actually, may nabasa akong report, just came out a few days ago. For the first time daw, bumaba, kahit maliit na porsyento lang, itong backlog na cases. Bumaba daw sa last month. By I think about just by 3%, mga ganyan. I-welcome na lang din natin yung balita na yan at sana magtuloy-tuloy.
Kasi naman, Miss Ina, ito naman ay nagsimula nung pandemic. Wala namang makakapag-predict ito Ito naman ay nagsimula nung pandemya. Syempre, nawala ng... Dati kasi sila ay hindi naman remote. Dati ay nasa mga opisina sila, nawala yung opisina. It took them time to set up like a remote office base. Ganyan, to learn how to train new case processing officers habang naka-remote sila. So maraming mga factors na kailangan natin i-consider. And then, wala pa nga po dito yung 15,000 na refugee applications.
Oo.
Wala pa dyan. So, hindi pa nila sinama dyan. Kaya, I know this can really be a problem. So, ang akin lang po is if you have, kung mag-a-apply po kayo, make sure that this is a legitimate application.
Correct. Oo. So what do you tell your, those who ask you, Dayanara? Kasi the issue is, their future is uncertain when they're on implied status. Hindi ko naman kita pwede tanungin kung alam mo kung ma-refuse o hindi. Nobody really knows what the decision will be. What do you tell them while waiting? Like, meron ba silang pwedeng gawin to, I don't know, to secure their future at hindi sila mabigla sa possible scenarios that they would end up facing? Opo.
What I always tell them is, you have to, kasi ganito din naman po ako, Miss Ina, naging temporary resident din naman ako. Nag-apply ako ng SP, nag-apply ako ng PR, nag-apply ako ng citizenship. So, dumadaan naman talaga tayo dun sa mga katotohanan na pag nandun ka sa Facebook group, 3 months lang, andun na yung results ng kanila, yung sa'yo, matagal. So, meron naman talaga pong mga ganyan tayong, may comparison tayo. But I
Yeah.
always tell them, is, as long as nandun pa siya sa service standard, sa processing time, as long as within processing time pa siya, there's nothing you can do. Kasi within processing time pa siya eh. So, there's nothing you can do. If the processing time says 1 year, or 8 months, then that's just the regular process. Ganun lang talaga. Wala tayong magagawa kundi magdasal. Pero kapag nag-exceed na siya sa processing time, for example, 9 weeks dapat ang, let's say, work permit application, nag-exceed na siya ng 9 weeks, then you can always send an IRCC web form, or I will send an IRCC web form for a client asking for updates. And then I would usually do that every time a client will ask, or it could be once every 2 months. Mga ganyan kung talagang, kasi ayoko din naman na mag-send. Diba? Hanggat maaari. So, yun lang,
Actually,
wala tayong magagawa talaga,
oo nga.
maghihintay.
Actually, yun din yung isa kong tanong. At what point should you start worrying, Dayanara, na OA na itong backlog na to, baka nawala nila yung application ko? Kasi minsan gano'n yung iniisip ng iba, sobrang tagal, or maybe hindi nila natanggap, did I not press a button or something like that? When should they start worrying? Mga ganun ba?
When it exceeds the processing time. So, siguro
Okay.
kung ang processing time ay 8 months, and then mga 1 taon na, wala pa rin. That's what I would say. Kasi po yung processing time, that's average eh. 'Di ba? Para nasa gitna yun nung mabilis saka mabagal. So, I would say if the processing time is 8 months, mga 1 taon, medyo mag-worry na ako dyan. Mag-send ako ng web form, and then tatawag ako sa IRCC hotline to ask them kung ano na yung nangyari, nabuksan na ba yung application ko, kasi pwede nilang makita from there kung nabuksan na ba yung application or not.
Do they have the right to ask the status, or at what stage na yung
Yes
processing?
po.
Okay.
So usually IRCC, syempre yung hotline na yan, mahaba yan. So minsan maghihintay ka talaga dyan ng mga ilang oras ng paghihintay para makakuha ka ng agent. But they will have access to the application, and they would be able to tell you kung bukas na ba siya, or meron pa bang hinihintay para kung ganyan. Dati nun, just to share my experience, nag-apply kami ng citizenship. Usually, ang processing ng citizenship nakikita ko sa Reddit. Nagbabasa kasi sa Reddit. Ay mga nasa 4 na buwan. 4 or 5 buwan. Pero yung sa amin, nag-apply po kami ng February, dumating yung application namin, yung results namin ng August. So parang in the middle nung March, April, May, June, yung mga bandang June, nagpapanik na ako, bakit ganun? Bakit wala pa yung resulta? Anong nangyari? Nagpunta na ako sa Member of Parliament. Isa po pala yun sa pwede ninyo din.
The MP, oo nga, okay.
You can send a request to your Member of Parliament for them to check kung ano na po yung nangyari dun sa application ninyo, because they do have access to, they can send special requests to the IRCC. So nag-send na ako ng request kay Peter Fragiscatos, yung aming MP. Nag-reply siya after a few days na we have reached out to the IRCC and you are already approved. Kumbaga, you are approved of your citizenship application. They're just waiting to schedule your oath-taking.
Aba, diba?
Parang gano'n. So, ang nangyari pala, Ms. Ina, kaya kami nagtagal is, nag-iipon sila ng mga mag-oath-taking sa London area para makapag-conduct sila ng live, as in, parang in-person oath-taking as opposed to virtual oath-taking.
Yeah.
Para ini-schedule pala nila kami. So, nagkasabay-sabay kaya kami na-delay. So, what I'm saying is sometimes there's a reason why there's a delay in your application. These are things you can do. IRCC web form, call IRCC hotline, or you can also ask your Member of Parliament for a special assistance. Inform them na your application has been ongoing has exceeded the service standard. So can we parang send a request to the IRCC to ask?
Yan. Okay. At least you guys have your options. Ano? Ay, okay. And by the way, guys, take note. Doon sa figures na aming pinag-usapan kanina, wala pa doon, tulad ng sinabi ni Dayanara, yung mga backlog sa those seeking asylum, yung mga gusto maging refugee. Nakabasa ko rin ng report dyan, Dayanara, parang sometimes yung marami din ngang nang-aabuso niyan because ang sabi, yung processing period could take, I think, 18 months. Parang 12 to 18 months.
Yes.
So
Yes.
imagine throughout the time, I think, do they start getting benefits at that time? Hindi pa naman.
Hindi pa naman po. You have to
Okay.
be actually, well, I could be mistaken. I'm not a refugee. Refugee is not my my expertise. But I believe there's a certain point in the application where they will have to satisfy the IRCC of their status as refugees bago
Okay.
sila makakuha po ng work permit or makapag-apply ng work permit or study permit.
I see.
Yeah. So there's a certain point. Yun yung gagawin actually nila doon sa 15,000 na yun. What they would, I think what they would do is they would speed up yung yung approval or rejection. Most of them will be rejected. Definitely. To clear the queue and to, send those who don't have status
Correct.
back to their country.
Yeah, abangan natin yan. Isa yan sa mga inaabangan ko dahil just a few days ago, si Immigration Minister Mark Miller also confirmed that changes are coming specifically para dyan sa mga asylum claims na yan.
Yes.
Applications.
Kasi hindi naman talaga ganun kadaling mag-apply ng asylum. We have discussed this po noong nakaraang video natin. It's not a very easy application to do. And very, very few people are really eligible for it. And honestly, do you really wish to be at a position na hindi ka na makauwi kasi merong nagtatangka sa buhay mo, sa buhay ng pamilya mo? Parang it's not something I would wish for myself. So, if you look at it that way, it's not really a good. Parang iba kasi nagsasabi, uy, swerte mo naman, nakapag-refugee ka. Parang, you really
ang inisip kasi nila doon, meron kang binibigyan ka ng allowance sa gobyerno.
Yes. Parang, do you really wish to be, like, for example, a person from Palestine, where their homes are
Don't take it away from those who really need it.
Who really need it, who really deserve it.
Ay, nako. Anyway, okay. Sige, Dayanara, we will end this episode here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As always, naku, maraming salamat sa iyo. Okay, you guys, your information will be put dyan sa...
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care in the snow.
Bye.
Take care.